We all come from different walks of life. Some of us come from a generation of believers. Others do not know Jesus and have lived a traumatic past, while some of us have never known our fathers. Yes, we all come from different walks of life. We don't dance the same way, laugh the same way, or deal with life's challenges the same way. But one thing is for sure, we all have one loving and almighty God.
I am a follower of Christ, recovering from traumatic bullying events, as well as from my husband's depression.
I'm a follower of Christ, recovering from childhood trauma because of rage and violence in the family.
I'm a follower of Christ, recovering from anxiety, insecurity, and family traumas because of absentee parents and financial difficulties.
I long for others to see my worth. I was born the youngest of 3 children. Like any other family, we tried to be happy and whole. My parents were kind and smart people, but they had a lot of differences. And that led to very bad arguments. I could remember fights that led to gun pointing with my brother standing in the gap. I feared terribly during those times. But what I feared most is that the sight of any emotion would trigger my dad to do something violent against us. Unvalued, that was how my childhood seemed like. Every time my dad threw a fit, my mom would send me to be with him in the hopes that he would calm down and everything would be peaceful again. They wanted to avoid the stressful situation and did not care if I felt helpless or scared being with my dad. That approach became a cycle. I got older and this led me to becoming indecisive. In order to keep the peace, I followed suit whenever people imposed their decisions on me. I did not know this was unhealthy and did not realize that this built resentment and bitterness within me. When I got married and became a parent, I thought being a mom gave me so much joy. That is, if you choose to leave and cleave. But in the years that went by, while still living under my parents' roof, I felt the stresses of managing our small family and starting a business that was funded by my dad back then. Work over family time consumed me. My childhood trauma, fear of my dad's control, and the pressure of always pleasing my family of origin led me at my worst state. I was too preoccupied to even spend time with my children, let alone give them my full attention when they wanted to share their accomplishments with me. I became overwhelmed, frustrated, unloving, and impatient. I would frequently shout at my children or shut them out. This led one of my daughters to slip into depression, and I was completely devastated. I became the worst parent I never dreamt of becoming. Hurting people hurt other people. I know I needed healing because I was passing on that same hurt to my children. This desperation led me to seek God. I wanted to change and I wanted it for good.
Glorious Hope has helped me understand myself better. I realized that one past bullying incident has impacted me more than I knew, and was one reason why I respond the way that I do in certain incidents and events in my life. One unmet desire that I had as a result was the need for approval. But having known Christ's love through the years, I have slowly been learning to seek only the approval of God more than the approval of man. Now, after my husband's depression, my deepest desire is to just come through, to succeed in the race that God has given me to run. I want to stop striving. I long to enjoy the roles the Lord has given me to do and to be good at it, to be a good wife, mother, school leader, and friend. Most of all, I long to enjoy intimacy in my role as a child of Him who gave His life for the love of me.
Growing up without knowing my father and with an absentee mother, my childhood was sustained by the love and care of my grandparents who raised me with the best they could. I found happiness in playing with friends and did well in school, often believing I was fine and I can make it. However, as I compared my life to others, feelings of envy and insecurity crept in. My rare conversations with my mother were often filled with discussions about money and her personal issues, leaving me anxious and emotionally burdened. I often wondered what it's like to have loving and responsible parents and a complete family. I became a Christian and found strength and comfort in the love of God, knowing that He is my true Father who loves me, filling the void in my heart of being fatherless. Despite my achievements, embracing the role of a good child and graduating college, I continued to grapple with cycles of debt and emotional challenges that stemmed from my childhood. My relationship with my mother was strained, and I often felt anger and resentment over the absence of a stable family. By God's grace and mercy, meeting my husband became one of the significant turning points in my life because together we dreamed of building a godly family. I became a mother and embraced the joy of having a complete family for the first time. Yet, I still faced the lingering effects of my past traumas. I realized that I needed to address my emotional wounds to create a nurturing environment for my child and for my husband. Through Christ alone, I am learning to process my past, and I am committed to heal and break the cycle of trauma to be able to build a family that loves, serves, and glorifies God. A family that I longed for in my own childhood.
We all have our own story to tell, our life choices and actions that come from our coping mechanisms and unmet desires that end up hurting ourselves and others. But God, in His wisdom and goodness, has a greater purpose. He is able to take the mess of our past and turn it into a message. He takes the trials and tests and turns them into a testimony.
The same God who makes the planet spin tells the tide when it should rise, put the color in my eyes. The same God who makes the seasons change knows the number of the stars, every secret in my heart, all my doubts, all my questions, in every fear I have about what might happen. You're the same God, you're with me in the middle of it all, God. You're catching every tear as it falls. I know you'll never change, even when I'm feeling far away. You love me the same, God. You love me the same, God. You love me the same, God. You love me the same. You're a God of grace and empathy. You know how it feels to cry, 'cause you lived a human life.